banking aspect. Today we've asked for the parliamentary sanction for additional recap bonds of 41,000 crores. If you have the full big picture of what is the recap position of the last few years, Indradhanush, which we announced in 2015-16, was 70,000 crores. Out of that 70, 52 had already been spent and 18 was the balance. That 18 was included in the second tranche of 2,11,000 crores. So it became 211 plus the initial 52, which was the leftover balance. Now out of this 2,11,000, 1,35,000 were the bonds, and the balance was either by market raising or by sale of non-core assets. Now at the beginning of this year, of this entire amount which had been sanctioned, a total amount of 65,000 crores was still remaining. And as of today, of that 65,000 crores, 42,000 is still remaining. And therefore, with this additional 41,000 for which we have sought a parliamentary sanction, we still, for the balance 3.5 months, will now have 42,000 plus 41,000, which is 83,000 for the balance year, and that will make this year's recap to a total of 1,06,000 crores. Now this 1,06,000 in all for this year and 83,000 which is remaining is going to be utilized under 4 different heads. The first, of course, is to ensure that the banks meet their regulatory capital norms. The second will be that the better performing PCA banks are given capital to achieve a 9% capital to risk weighted asset ratio, the CRAR, and the required capital conservation buffer and the 6% net NPA requirements, so that some of them are able to come out of the PCA itself. The third category will be the non-PCA banks, which are very close to the PCA red line, will be provided some capital to ensure that they don't get into the PCA. And of course, where the amalgamation is taking place this year, some regulatory and growth capital will have to be provided to those banks. Now this 83,000 crore will be distributed in this manner. Once the distribution process is decided by the DFS, in these 4 heads it will be made known to each one of you. Meanwhile, the recognition of the NPAs, a process which started in 2015, has made a considerable headway. It's almost complete. And at a time where it had peaked in March 2015, the non-recognition was to the extent of about 7%. That now is about 0.59. So a high provisioning has already been made by the banks as a result of disciplining which has taken place in the last few years. And obviously they led to the peaking of the NPAs, because what was under the carpet has been brought in the best norms of transparency shown on the books. And hopefully the last quarter has already shown that there is an improved performance, and therefore now the downward slide in the NPA itself would now commence. This entire exercise will also lead to the improvement in the lending capacity of the banks itself. I'll now leave it to the Secretary to make his comments.